My name is Linda Parker. I am 59 years old, and I live alone in a small, quiet house in Brighton. My life is simple now. Every day feels almost the same, like a slow song that never changes. I wake up early in the morning, even when I do not need to. I open my eyes and look at the ceiling for a few minutes. Sometimes I think about my past. Sometimes I just listen to the silence in my house. My husband died 8 years ago. His name was Thomas, and he was a kind man. He always made me laugh, even on my worst days. When he was alive, this house was full of warmth and sound. We used to sit together in the evening and drink tea. We talked about small things, like the weather, the neighbors, or what to cook the next day. Now, there is no one to talk to. The house feels bigger, but also colder. I have one son. His name is Daniel. He is my only child, and I love him more than anything in this world. When he was young, he was a sweet boy. He used to run around the house and call me, "Mom, look at me!" He liked to draw pictures and show them to me with a big smile. I still remember those days clearly. They are like bright lights in my memory. But many years ago, Daniel moved to Canada. At first, he said it was only for work. He wanted a better life, a better job, and more opportunities. I understood him. Every parent wants their child to have a good future. So, I told him, "Go, my son, follow your dreams." I tried to be strong, even when my heart felt heavy. Now, Daniel lives far away. He has a wife named Sarah and 2 children. I have never seen my grandchildren in real life. I only saw their pictures on my phone. They look happy. Daniel also looks happy. He has a big house and a good job. When I see his photos, I feel proud of him. But at the same time, I feel a quiet pain in my chest. He does not call me often. Sometimes weeks pass, and there is no message, no phone call, nothing. Then suddenly, one day, he calls and says, "Hello, Mom. How are you?" I always say, "I am fine, my son," even when I feel lonely. I do not want him to worry about me. I want him to live his life without feeling guilty. Sometimes he sends me money. He says, "Mom, use this for yourself." I always thank him, but deep inside, I do not need his money. I only want his time. I only want to hear his voice more often. I only want to feel that I am still important in his life. Every day, I clean my house. I sweep the floor, wipe the table, and wash the dishes, even if they are already clean. It helps me pass the time. After that, I cook a simple meal. Usually, it is just something small, like soup or rice. I do not feel like cooking big meals anymore. Cooking for one person feels strange. In the afternoon, I sometimes sit by the window and watch people walk by. I see families, children, couples, and old friends talking together. They laugh and smile. I watch them quietly, like I am looking at another world that I no longer belong to. In the evening, I sit alone in my living room. I turn on the light, but the room still feels dark. I take out an old photo album from the shelf. Inside, there are many pictures of my past. There is a photo of my wedding day. I am wearing a white dress, and Thomas is standing next to me, smiling. There are also photos of Daniel when he was a baby, a child, and a teenager. One photo is my favorite. It shows Daniel when he was about 5 years old. He is holding my hand, and we are both smiling at the camera. Every time I look at that picture, my eyes become wet. I gently touch the photo and whisper, "I miss you, my son." At night, before I go to bed, I always check my phone. I hope to see a message from Daniel. Sometimes there is nothing. Sometimes there is a short message like, "Hi Mom, I am busy. Talk later." I read it many times, even if it is only a few words. Still, I wait for him. I always believe that one day he will come back to see me. I imagine him standing at my door, smiling, just like he did when he was young. I imagine hugging him and feeling his warmth again. One cold morning, something unexpected happened. I was in the kitchen, making tea for myself. The house was quiet as always. Suddenly, I heard a knock on the door. At first, I thought maybe I imagined it. Nobody visits me. But then I heard it again. Knock, knock. My heart started to beat faster. I slowly walked to the door. My hands were shaking a little. I did not know who it could be. When I opened the door, I froze. It was Daniel. He was standing there right in front of me, with a small smile on his face. For a moment, I could not speak. I felt like I was dreaming. My eyes became wide, and my lips moved slowly. "Daniel, you really came?" I said softly. He nodded and smiled again. In that moment, my lonely world suddenly felt full again. For a few seconds, I just stood there and looked at Daniel. I could not believe my eyes. My son was finally here, standing in front of me after so many years. My heart felt warm and full, like the old days. Then I moved forward and hugged him tightly. I held him like I was afraid he would disappear again. My eyes filled with tears, and I could not stop them. I said, my son, again and again. Daniel gently touched my back and said, "It's okay, Mom. I'm here now." His voice was calm, but something felt different. I could not understand it at that moment. I was just too happy. I quickly asked him to come inside. Come in, I said with a smile. "You must be tired." He walked into the house and looked around. His eyes moved slowly across the walls, the furniture, and the old photos. "It's the same," he said. "Yes?" I replied softly. "Nothing changed." I went to the kitchen and made tea for him, just like I used to do many years ago. My hands were shaking a little, but my heart was full of joy. I wanted everything to be perfect. We sat together at the small table. I looked at his face again and again, trying to remember every detail. He looked older, more serious, but he was still my son. I asked him many questions. How is Sarah? How are the children? Are they healthy? Are they happy? My voice was full of excitement. He nodded and said, "They are all fine, Mom. The children are growing fast. They go to school now." I smiled. "I wish I could see them." "You will," he said quickly. I looked at him with surprise. "What do you mean?" Daniel took a deep breath and looked straight at me. "Mom, I came here because I miss you. You live here alone. I worry about you every day." His words touched my heart. I felt happy to hear that he cared about me. Then he continued, "I want to take you with me to Canada." I became very quiet. I did not expect this. My mind suddenly filled with many thoughts. "To Canada?" I asked slowly. Yes, he said. You should not stay here alone anymore. You are getting older. This place is not safe for you. In Canada, you will have everything: a warm house, good food, and family. You can see your grandchildren every day. I looked down at my hands. They were old and weak now. I knew he was right about my age, but my heart felt heavy. This is my home, I said softly. I was born here. I lived my whole life here. Your father lived here too. I cannot leave this place so easily. Daniel's face became serious. Mom, this house is old. It is not good for you. What if something happens to you? Who will help you? I did not answer. I just listened. He continued, In Canada, you will have your own room. Sarah also wants you to come. She told me many times, we all want you with us. I looked at him again. Really? Sarah said that? Yes, he replied quickly. His words gave me hope. Maybe I could finally be part of his life again. Maybe I could see my grandchildren and hold them in my arms. But still, I felt afraid. Leaving this house meant leaving my memories. Every corner of this house had a story. Every wall remembered my past. That night, I could not sleep well. I lay in my bed and looked at the ceiling. My mind was full of questions. What should I do? I asked myself again and again. If I stay here, I will continue to live alone. But if I go, I will be with my son. I turned to one side and closed my eyes. I thought about Daniel as a child. I remembered his small hands holding mine. I remembered his laughter. He is my son, I whispered. I should trust him. The next morning, Daniel spoke again. Mom, we should sell this house, he said. I looked at him with surprise. Sell the house? Yes, he said. You do not need it anymore. You will live with us. You can use the money for your new life in Canada. I felt something strange in my chest, but I ignored it. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to believe that everything would be good. He smiled at me, and I saw the little boy I once knew. So I said, Okay. Everything happened very fast after that. We found a buyer for the house. I signed the papers with shaking hands. When I gave the keys to the new owner, I felt like I was leaving a part of my heart behind. Daniel took care of the money. He said it would be easier for him to manage everything. I trusted him, so I did not ask many questions. Then I packed my bag. I did not have many things, just some clothes, my photo album, and a few small items that were important to me. The day came to leave. We went to the airport together. It was a big place, full of people and noise. I held my bag tightly and stayed close to Daniel. I felt nervous but also excited. This is a new life, I told myself. At the airport, Daniel looked at me and said, Mom, wait here. I will bring a wheelchair for you. The way is long, and you cannot walk so far. I nodded. Okay, my son. He smiled and walked away. I sat down on a chair and watched him go. I thought, he is taking care of me. He loves me. 5 minutes passed, then 10 minutes. I looked around. There were many people, But I could not see Daniel. I told myself, maybe the line is long. I waited quietly, but deep inside, a small feeling of fear began to grow. I sat on the chair and kept looking at the same direction where Daniel had walked away. At first, I was calm. I told myself again and again, he will come back. He said 5 minutes. But time moved slowly, and my heart began to feel heavy. After 20 minutes, I started to look around more carefully. People were walking past me with their bags. Some were laughing, some were talking, and some were in a hurry. Everyone seemed to have a place to go. Everyone had someone with them. But I was alone. Maybe he cannot find a wheelchair, I whispered to myself. Maybe he is asking someone for help. I tried to stay patient. I folded my hands and waited. 30 minutes passed. Now I felt something strange inside me. My chest felt tight. I stood up slowly and looked around. I walked a few steps, but I was afraid to go too far. What if Daniel came back and did not see me? So I returned to my chair and sat down again. I looked at the big doors again and again. Every time someone walked through, my eyes became wide. Is that him? I thought. But it was never him. 45 minutes passed. My hands started to shake. My eyes were full of worry now. I could not stay calm anymore. No, this is not right, I said quietly. My son will not leave me. He cannot do that. I held my bag tightly and looked at every face around me. But none of them were Daniel. 1 hour passed. Now my heart was beating fast. I felt cold, even though the airport was not cold. My mind was full of fear. Something is wrong, I thought. Maybe something happened to him. Just then, a man in a uniform walked toward me. He was a police officer. He looked at me with kind eyes. "Ma'am," he said gently, "are you waiting for someone?" I looked at him quickly, like I found a little hope. "Yes," I said. "My son. He went to get a wheelchair for me. We are going to Canada." The officer nodded slowly. "Do you have his photo?" Yes, I said quickly. My hands were shaking as I opened my bag. I took out Daniel's photo and gave it to him. I also showed him my ticket. "This is my son," I said. "His name is Daniel. He said he will come back." The officer looked at the photo carefully. Then he looked at me. "Please wait here," he said kindly. "I will check inside." "Thank you," I said. "Thank you very much." He walked away, and I sat down again. My heart was still beating fast, but I felt a little hope now. He will find Daniel, I told myself. Minutes passed again. This time, every second felt very long. I kept looking in the direction where the officer had gone. I prayed quietly, "Please let my son be safe. Please let him come back." After what felt like a long time, the officer returned. But when I saw his face, my heart dropped. His face was serious. There was no smile. He came and sat next to me. For a moment, he did not speak. "Did you find him?" I asked quickly. My voice was weak. He looked at me gently and spoke very softly. "Ma'am, I am very sorry." My hands became cold. "Your son has boarded the flight," he said. "He has already left. The plane has taken off." I froze. My ears could hear the words, but my heart did not accept them. "No," I said slowly. "No, that is not true. My son loves me. He said he will take me with him." The officer shook his head slightly. I saw it. He gave his passport and went on the plane alone. Tears filled my eyes. No, he will not do that," I said again. "He is my son." But the truth was already in front of me. My heart broke in that moment. I started to cry. At first, it was quiet. Then, I could not stop. The pain inside me came out like a storm. "I sold my house. I trusted him," I whispered between my tears. The officer sat beside me. His eyes also looked sad. "Some people forget their hearts," he said quietly. I cried for a long time. I did not care about the people around me. I did not care about anything. My world had just broken. After some time, the officer spoke again. "My name is Robert Miller," he said gently. "I work here. When I see you, you remind me of my mother." I looked at him slowly, my eyes still full of tears. "She died 5 years ago," he continued. "She was kind, like you." I did not know what to say. Then he said something that surprised me. "Please come with me," he said. "You cannot stay here alone. You will get sick. Come to my house. My wife is kind. She will take care of you." I shook my head a little. "I do not want to trouble you," I said weakly. He smiled softly. "It is not trouble," he said. "It is love." His words touched my heart in a gentle way. At that moment, I had nothing left. No home, no son, no place to go. So I slowly nodded. "Okay," I whispered. And in that moment, without knowing it, my life was about to change again. I followed Robert slowly through the airport. My steps were weak, and my heart still felt broken. Everything around me looked blurry, like I was walking in a dream. Just a few hours ago, I believed I was starting a new life with my son. But now I had nothing. Robert stayed close to me, like he was afraid I might fall. He carried my small bag and spoke to me in a calm and gentle voice. "Do not worry," he said. "You are safe." Safe. That word felt strange to me. I had lost my home, and my son had left me. But somehow, this stranger made me feel a little less alone. We got into his car and drove to his house. I looked outside the window quietly. The world was still moving. People were still living their lives. But my world had stopped. After some time, we arrived at his home. It was a simple but warm house. The lights were on, and I could see someone waiting at the door. When we got closer, the door opened. A woman came out with a soft smile on her face. "This is my wife, Olivia," Robert said. Olivia walked toward me and held my hands gently. "Welcome," she said kindly. "Please come in." Her voice was warm, like a daughter speaking to her mother. I felt my eyes fill with tears again, but this time it was not only pain. It was also something else. Something soft. She helped me inside and gave me a seat. The house felt alive. There was warmth, light, and a feeling of care that I had not felt in a long time. Olivia brought me some food. "You must be hungry," she said. "Please eat." I looked at the food, but I did not feel hungry. Still, I tried to eat a little. I did not want to be rude. That night, they gave me a small room to sleep in. It was clean and comfortable. Olivia placed a blanket over the bed and said, "If you need anything, please call me." I nodded and thanked her. When I was alone, I sat on the bed and held my photo album tightly. I opened it and looked at Daniel's picture. "Why did you do this?" I whispered. Tears rolled down my face again. Even after everything, I still loved him. A mother's heart does not change easily. I lay down, but I could not sleep. I missed my house. I missed my past. I missed the life I once had. But in that same night, I also felt something new. These strangers had opened their home to me. They did not know me, but they still cared. The next morning, I woke up slowly. For a moment, I forgot where I was. Then I looked around and remembered everything. I walked out of the room and saw Olivia in the kitchen. "Good morning," she said with a smile. "Did you sleep well?" "A little," I replied softly. She gave me a cup of tea. "Take your time," she said. Robert came into the room a few minutes later. He smiled at me. "Good morning." But I noticed something in his eyes. There was a quiet sadness there. Later that day, his phone rang. He looked at the screen and became serious. He went to another room to answer the call. I sat quietly and waited. When he came back, he smiled again, but his smile looked different. "Is everything okay?" I asked. Yes, he said quickly. Everything is fine. But I felt that something was not right. Still, I did not ask more. I was too tired, both in my body and in my heart. What I did not know was this. The plane that Daniel took had crashed. There were no survivors. Daniel was gone. But Robert did not tell me. He knew my heart was already broken. He did not want to give me more pain. He let me keep my small hope. Days passed slowly. I stayed with Robert and Olivia. They treated me with kindness every day. Robert took me to the doctor. He bought my medicine and made sure I was okay. Olivia cooked for me, talked with me, and sat with me in the evenings. She listened to my stories, even when I cried. They did not see me as a stranger. They treated me like family. Little by little, I started to feel safe again. One evening, we were sitting together in the living room. The light was soft, and the room felt peaceful. Robert looked at me and asked gently, "Do you ever think about going back to your old house?" I looked at him quietly. "That house is gone," I said slowly, "but I think I found a new home." He smiled. I continued, "I lost my son, but maybe I found another son." My voice was soft, but my heart felt calm for the first time in many days. I still prayed for Daniel every night. I prayed for his safety. I prayed that one day he would come back. I did not know the truth, but my love for him was still there. At the same time, I felt grateful. Life had taken everything from me in one moment. But then, it gave me something unexpected. Kindness, love, a new family. My name is Linda Parker. I lost my home. I lost my son. But I found something I never expected. And now, I'm not alone anymore. If you like this story, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.